Adopting a dog or a female dog. Advantages and disadvantages. You have made the decision to adopt a dog, but you still wonder about its gender. Male or female? While the question may seem innocuous, it is actually far from it. Indeed, opting for a dog or a female dog will have an impact on many factors in your daily life, which is why this decision must be carefully considered. Let's take a look at the characteristics, advantages and disadvantages of each gender. What are the main differences between male and female dogs? The choice between a male or female dog is of great importance, because it determines a wide range of points in your daily life with your animal. Indeed, the choice of sex in the dog will have a direct impact on its behavior, on its temperament, on the education to be provided to it and on the veterinary and various care to be provided to it. In addition to the fact that only the female can have a litter and give birth to puppies, you should know that the choice of sex will greatly impact your relationship with your animal and the care it will need. Nevertheless, if the question of character can be affirmed, know that it is very often about trends and more or less well-founded rumors. The character of a dog is above all determined by the way in which he is educated, by his past and by the experiences he has gone through. Finally, be aware that most behavioral distinctions between males and females are erased, or at least mitigated, by the use of castration and sterilization. Adopting a male dog. The pros and cons. Male dogs tend to be bigger than females, but also more powerful. If this can sometimes be an advantage, it must be taken into account in the context of education in certain breeds. Indeed, males can tend to be more dissipated and dominating than females, which leads to the need to be more firm and patient. If males and females can run away, it is a temperament that is more present in the former. Males are also often not tolerant of each other, and it is recommended to castrate them between 6 and 7 months to channel their ardor. A male, on the other hand, is more recommended for the practice of a physical activity in the company of his master. They are indeed more inclined and motivated to share these sporting moments with their master. It must be said that the males are more lively, more dynamic and more energetic. The advantages of a male dog. Adopting a male dog has certain advantages. The male is generally closer to his masters, more affectionate, looking for contact and caresses, but also more present. The male is more playful and more dynamic, ideal for sports practice. The male dog tends to be more effective in its role of guard, in particular because it proves to be more protective. Veterinary care for the dog, including castration, is less expensive than that of the female. The disadvantages of a male dog. Despite its advantages, adopting a male dog can have certain disadvantages. The male is more dependent on his masters and more invasive. Very demanding in caresses, he can be clingy and sometimes insistent to obtain favors. The male dog is more runaway than the female, especially if some are in heat nearby. The male is often more difficult to educate because he tends to be more stubborn. Uncastrated males can be very aggressive, depending on the breed. The dog is bigger and stronger than the female dog, so it is often more difficult to master or control when needed. The male is more aggressive towards other males he encounters. Adopting a dog. The pros and cons. Female dogs are more independent, calmer, more submissive and more obedient animals than dogs. It is therefore easier to educate and control them. If she is often less cuddly than the male, she can however be very protective with the children who share her household, even possessive. If the females are generally easier to live with, they have the disadvantage of undergoing periods of heat when they are not sterilized. During these periods, she can be aggressive, sometimes stressed or frightened. However, you should know that the heat is repeated twice a year, for a period of 15 days. During this period, she loses drops of blood and requires protection or your care in terms of hygiene, and it is recommended to avoid going out to avoid the onslaught of uncastrated males. The advantages of a female. Adopting a female can present certain interests. Females are gentler, calmer and more peaceful than males. The female dog is more independent vis-a-vis her masters. If she is more docile, she is also more distant, knowing how to attract their attention when she wants it. The female is easier to educate than the male, especially because she is less stubborn. She is more protective with the children of the household because of her maternal instinct. However, she can be possessive at times. The disadvantages of a female. Despite its advantages, adopting a female can have disadvantages. The female dog must be supervised during her periods of heat, because she attracts uncastrated males from the surrounding area. It's best not to let her out unattended. In addition, its heat requires specific care. The female can suffer from nervous pregnancies when she is not sterilized. These periods are generally difficult for the members of the household. Spaying a female costs more than castration of a male. Females are generally more fragile on the gynecological level and can present tumors or mammary or uterine infections. However, these inconveniences can be avoided or limited by sterilization as soon as possible.